On this episode of Road Dirt, we'll install these Honda luggage elements on this Honda SCL500. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Rob with Road Dirt, and for the last several months we've had a Honda SCL500 that we've ridden and done a couple of reviews with. And we recently received from Honda some of their luggage options for this bike. We've actually had some requests for that, some questions about like what works with a bike that's got a scrambler kind of pipe setup in the, across the rear of the bike, and is there throw over luggage for it? So we put that question to Honda, and they sent us two elements, actually a top case, which requires a mounting bracket for the rear of the bike, which we'll go over in a few minutes, as well as a side saddlebag on the left side of the bike, opposite of the scrambler pipe. So this one's a pretty easy job to do. The hard bag, not so much, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. One of the first things you'll need to do, actually, when you receive parts, is you'll need to go into this little slip of paper right here that they include with it, and you'll need to go to that QR code down there, and it will show you, it'll bring up a parts list and installation diagrams for all of the accessories that they offer for the particular bike. You'll enter the year, the model, and the make and everything, and then you'll be able to see on the left side of the screen, you can scroll through, and there's a bunch of the different accessory PDFs, and you click into it, and like we've done, I've done it the old school way. I've downloaded them and printed them off, or you can save them on a tablet or something like that, whatever's easiest for you to do, and then just follow instructions. We're going to see how easy it is and look at some of the difficulties with installing these bags. Both sides have a place for top case and saddlebag mounts, and this left side here is where we'll put the messenger bag. So the bolts that came out right here for the side saddlebag are 6mm. The ones that they send you with the appropriate collar are 8. They don't note that in there, but they are different than what comes out. So what we'll do, it's pretty simple, straightforward mount up job. Get the collars on and run them in. The bag itself is pretty nice. Just snaps apart here, unzips across the top, and pretty cavernous. It's a pretty big bag, and since it can be easily removed, it's got a little satchel strap, so I like it. Let's install it. Now the bag has got 3 little notches, And this interesting little lock feature right here that you press that actually slides over that and locks it in place in there, so it doesn't just fly off or something like that, or people just can't pop it off and run off with it. Little latch. So you line it up, front and rear, and use that little latch and snap it into place. And when you need to take it off, the little latch is right here in the front. Push it all the way down, the bag pops right off. Pretty cool setup. I like it. Goes with kind of the vibe of the bike. The top case, however, is going to be considerably more complicated to do, because you've got not only the case itself, but you've got to assemble the latch for it and assemble the actual key insert. I mean, literally spring by spacer by spring by spacer, and then key it to your own key, as well as the carrier bracket on the back, and you know, the supports and everything for the top part of the carrier, and then just page after page of how to build the key lock. Look at this. And then inserting it, getting it installed. Once you get the key lock all set up, which all comes in here, and then installing it actually in the locking mechanism into the latch, and then installing it into the hard case. That's going to be a heck of a job. No wonder a lot of people, when they order these for their bikes, they get the dealer to do it for them. I don't blame them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is assemble the rear carrier rack, the rear assembly for mounting up the back case to it. And one of the things I noted right off the bat, they refer to these as 8mm short screws, but they're not. They're 6s. So, but those are the correct ones to use for it. So let's get this all lined up here. And there's the rear rack. Now, to show you without installing it, because we've already installed the little side saddle bag, I'm going to show you where it lines up down in here. There, you can actually see there's the bolts, 2 bolts, you know, these front ones here, where the side saddle bag mounts. There's an opposing one on the other side behind the scrambler pipe, and then 2 rear ones as well. And you just remove those and set this rack in there and screw it all back in. And these actually, on this side, take the place of the spacer that that this little side saddle bag works with. So, and it fits pretty much. It'll be right back about like that over the rear. All right, to install the carrier bracket to the rear rack, these do actually use a set of 4 of these 8mm, and you run them through right here, and they give you some of these flange nuts. I'll tighten them up in just a second. Plus, what you can't see is that there's a little metal bracket that separates this carrier bracket from the rear rack, and you slide that in between them, or run it all down together with those two little flat brackets. You'll see them in the directions with the bolts going in. The bracket between the plate, actually, they're called plates, between the carrier bracket and the rear rack, and then you tighten them all down, which I'll do in just a minute. And that is what the top case is going to set on, which is going to be the most complicated part. And now it's together. All right, so this now has to go in here like that, and then that right there should slide down over it, and this right here, I guess, locks it in place. Okay, that took a little work to get that little lock collar over that. I had to struggle with it here a little bit, force it and get it back and forth and cuss at it a little, but we got it on. All good. The whole latching mechanism slides into place pretty easily, and then you've got 4 bolts that you need to run through from the inside once you've lined it all up, and then tighten everything down. All right, so the latch is assembled and put in the box, and it slides up, locks like that, and then secures in place, locks and unlocks right there. And then on the bottom, where it will fit on the rear rack, it will go on with this hooking in right here, and that hooking right there. When it's sitting on top of it, just latch right on. So, pretty nice piece of kit. So my buddy Dez watching in the background here, watching the proceedings. So we've got the back rack with the luggage element snap-on installed. Hey, buddy. And to get these screwed in here, you've got to remove the exhaust cover. That's got to come off. So you can access them right there and screw them down. And then you're ready to go. Took a number 5 and a number 8 millimeter to get this off and get these screwed in. Now let's put the box on. All right, goes on facing backwards and snaps in. I think once you unlock it, you snap it into place. Here it goes. It's on. I guess you can also get a back pad for it right here for a passenger. It'll fit right there, snap on. All right, so here's something interesting. What you've actually got here there's a latch right here. See that latch right there? That actually secures this bottom piece, this little clip to the rack. You snap it in while you're in the unlock here, and then you put it back in the lock position, and the unit does not remove and slide around nice and tight on the luggage on the rear rack. So the cover's back on the exhaust, and here is what the rack looks like with the luggage on it. Pretty big. So there you have it, installing the Luggage for a 2024 in this case, Honda's SCL500. You've got the side mount bag, which actually I prefer. I think that's pretty cool over here on the left side. I like that bag, like a messenger bag. And then the top case with plenty of storage space. A little bit complicated because you've got to assemble the whole locking mechanism and then install that whole thing onto the box. And with the rack, and then the mounting bracket that goes on top of the rack to hold the case. But man, you're kitted out, ready to roll now, ready to road trip with it. So pretty nice bit of equipment here put out by Honda Motorsports. Now, if you want, you can look them up at powersports.honda.us. Actually, I may not have that right, but we'll put the link to the actual email address and their parts for this bike and everything. You can look all those up online as well. We'll put that down in the description. And hey, if you enjoyed this, if you appreciate our content, give us a like, subscribe it, share it with somebody else, ring that bell so you can get notifications about future content we'll put out as well. Follow us on our main media site as well, roaddirt.tv. That's the e-magazine, our online magazine that myself and all of our Road Dirt crew contributors all share stories on. A lot of good stuff on there. You'll find us on social media too. We're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Instagram, and then Instagram's little side hustle, kind of like X also, called Threads. You can find us out there as well. We've also got a Spotify music playlist, about 27 hours worth of road music when you're out on the open roads or wrenching on one in the garage in the wintertime. So check all those out as well. Hey, until next time, this is Rob with Road Dirt, wishing you a ride life.